Okay, Hare Krishna. So we are continuing with the 11th chapter Bhagavad Gita as explained by Sripad Ramanujacharya and Yamunacharya. And also we are looking at only those points which are, by and large not covered in Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. So we'll start with the invocation verse for the 11th chapter by Yamunacharya. Ekadashe swayatatma sakshatkara avalokanam dattamuktam vidipraptyo bhaktyeko payatatata. The divine eyes required to behold the true nature of Bhagavan are said to be given in the 11th Adhyaya. Similarly, Bhakti is said to be the only means to know, to behold, and to attain Bhagavan. Okay, so this is the summary verse of 11th chapter as spoken by Sripad Yamunacharya. So he's saying that the divine eyes required are given here, and Bhakti is the only means to know and attain. Now, somebody may say, why this behold is put? We discussed this last time that there is this between knowing and attaining, there is beholding. Okay, so we see in the 10th chapter Bhagavad Gita, it is about knowing. The 12th chapter is about attaining, and the 11th chapter is about beholding. So that is why he has put it like that. So it's based on the summary of the 10th, 11th, and 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is successively to know, to behold, and finally to attain Bhagavan. Okay, so we have seen a lot of verses in this chapter. So we are just last time I had done till text number 14. So we are going to do today text 15 onwards, right? So let's move to that particular thing. So we are at this place where Arjuna is already seeing the universal form and how he responds, right? So that is where we are. Okay. Yes, very good. So this is the verse Arjuna Vacha. Pashyami devans tava deva dehe sarvans tata bhuta vishesha sangan brahmanamisham kamalasanastam rishincha sarvan urugamscha divyan. So this is the 15th verse of this particular chapter. So the translation we'll read. Arjuna says, O God of gods, Krishna, I behold in one corner of your divine, gigantic cosmic form all the 33 crores of celestial beings, having these 33 principal gods, many groups of varied kinds of beings, the four-faced Brahma, the ruler of the cosmic shell, Shiva, who acts as per the wishes of Brahma, seated on the lotus, all celestial sages and other seers, and all celestial serpents with their jewels shining. Right, so this is the translation of the 15th verse. So here onwards, Arjuna is speaking about what he is seeing. Okay, so let's go into the Sanskrit a little bit. So here Arjuna uses the word dehe, and the commentators here say that dehe means dehe in Sanskrit. See, now it's very interesting that in English we have a word called body, which we use, right, to refer to our body. But in Sanskrit, there are different words for body. For example, one is deha and other is sharira. Now, externally, it may seem that deha and sharira both mean the same thing. But no, we have to understand that both of them have a different context. So it has to be used appropriately. For example, deha in Sanskrit means diha upajaye. That means when something is increasing, you call it deha. That means if the body is increasing, you call it deha. On the other hand, sharira means shiryate iti shariram. That means something that goes on decreasing is called sharira. So, for example, if somebody is putting on weight, you need to basically in Sanskrit tell him that your deha is increasing. You can't tell him that your sharira is increasing, right? Because there is a obvious disconnection, right? Because he's growing obese. So, deha. On the other hand, if someone has lost a lot of weight and is very thin now due to old age or any other reason, we will say that your sharira is perhaps not doing good or something. So in this way, in Sanskrit, such a rich language, there are these words which have a meaning. Okay, so here why dehe is being used by Arjuna? Because Krishna's body is growing, right? I mean, it's the universal form which is becoming bigger and bigger. So he's using the word deha. He's not using the word sharira over here. Okay, so that's one important point here. Second thing is Kamalasanastham. Okay, so this is again interesting that, if you see Prabhupada also translates Kamalasanastham as Shiva. Somebody may say, what does Kamalasanastam externally looks as if Brahma, but so Brahmanam Kamalasanastam. If you see in the word, there is Brahmanam Isham Kamalasanastam. So Brahmanam means Lord Brahma. Then Kamalasanastam. Kamalasanastam means one meaning is sitting on the lotus flower. Other meaning is one who acts per the person who is sitting on the lotus flower, right? Because Kamalasanastam Isham. Okay, Kamala Asana Stham. Okay, that means one who is acting on the wishes of the person who is sitting on the Kamala. Okay, and that Isha is Lord Shiva, because Shiva is acting as per the directions of Brahmaji. He is acting as per wishes of Brahmaji. So that is why it is actually Shiva over here. So basically, of course, Arjuna is seeing all the principal devatas here, right? So these are the 33 principal devatas. So when we hear 33 crore devata, many commentators also say crore or koti need not necessarily means crore. It means groups. So there are these 33 principal devatas, 12 Adityas, 11 Rudras, 8 Vasus and 2 Ashwini Kumaras. Totally it is 33, and each of them have a large number of followers, which is also called in Sanskrit as koti or group. So there are so many koti devata like that. So these are the principal devatas. So basically Arjuna could see everything in Krishna, all the devatas, and he saw that in one corner. Of course, that is a commentary. One corner, because the whole material creation is just one corner in Krishna's form, right? And yeah, so this is about this particular verse. Let's go ahead. Aneka daravaktra netram pashyami tvam sarvato nantarupam nantam cha namadhyam cha punastavadim pashyami vishveshwara vishwarupam. Having countless arms, stomachs, faces and eyes in one form, and endowed with countless such forms, I see you in all directions, O controller of universe. O Lord, having the universe as your body, I do not see any beginning, nor any middle, nor any end to your form. Okay, so Aneka means several, literally countless. Anantarupam again means Anantarupam, here it means countless such forms. So here the commentary is Anantarupa means all the forms in the universe of all the devatas, of all the animals, the humans. They are also ultimately, in a way, Krishna is part of everyone, right? We have seen that already in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord is a super soul in everyone's heart, and all forms of the universe are also in one way the form of the Lord only, like that. So that is why multiple forms are there. And Vishweshwara, that means he is basically controlling the entire universe. Okay, so the point is Arjuna could see in this form that Krishna, how he is controlling everyone. So, again, in the Sanskrit, if you see the word Antaryami, we use the word Antaryami in Sanskrit to Paramatma. Antar means inside and Yami means to control, it seems in Sanskrit. So Antaryami means one who sits inside and controls. So as the Paramatma, he is actually sitting in everyone's heart and controlling. Okay, so Vishweshwara. So the king is controlling from outside, but nobody can control from inside, only Paramatma can. And Sarvataha means, it is said, Arjuna could have 360-degree vision by those divine eyes that he got. So he could see this form everywhere, as in, we cannot imagine how it would be to see 360-degree, because currently we are only able to see 180-degree in front of us, but Arjuna could see round. And it says, na adi, na madhyam, na antam. There is no beginning, middle or end. So somebody will say, okay, begin and ending is not there, but middle will be there. Na, some midpoint will be there of the universal form. So the commentary here is that no, because you cannot see the beginning and the end, you cannot understand which is the middle. We understand the middle of something only if you know where it begins and where it ends. If you don't know where it begins and where it ends, then obviously we don't know the middle also. So he says here that the middle also was not seen by Arjuna, right? So moving ahead, Kiritinam Gatinam Chakrinam Cha Tejo Rashim Sarvato Deeptimantam Pashyami Tvam Durniriksham Samantat Deepta Lanankar Dyutam Aprameyam. I behold you as an incredible mass of effulgence. The effulgence glowing on all sides, the radiance similar to that of blazing fire and the brilliant sun. dazzling the eyes, making it extremely difficult to look, being immeasurable in its size or nature. And as I discern further, I can see you wearing the crown, holding the mace, and the discus being your unique symbols. Okay, so here what is being said is the various ayudha or the weapons of Lord Narayana are being said, right? Like Kiritinam, Chakrinam, Gadinam. So the various ayudhas are said. So the commentary here is that without these ayudhas, how would otherwise Arjuna know that this is the form of Lord? He could have might as well thought that this is some other devata who is being seen. So in order to confirm that it is indeed Lord Narayan, all these things are being said by Arjuna, that I can see the mace, I can see the chakra, right? And I can see this effulgence. So it is said that every part of the Lord's body was giving out this effulgence. And it is due to this effulgence only that he doesn't need in the spiritual world any other sun or moon or anything. So Arjuna is saying that I can see effulgence and I can also see the specific weapons that you hold. Okay, moving ahead, the 18th verse. Tvam aksharam paramam veditavyam tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam tvam avyaya shashvata dharma gopta sanatanastvam purusho mato me. You have been realized by me as the imperishable supreme entity spoken of in the Upanishads. I have realized you as the supreme support of the entire universe. I have known you as the one who is eternally immutable in your divine form, nature, attributes, divine manifestations, and you are the protector of eternal dharma through your incarnations. You have now been realized by me through direct perception as the eternal supreme person. Okay, so what Arjuna is saying here is that Tvam Veditavyam. So in the Vedas, it is being whatever glories of the Lord has been said have been understood by him. Now here the word used is mata. Tvam mata. Mata actually means in one sense understanding, but here he has translated it as direct perception because Arjuna has not understood these things just by words. He has understood it by actually seeing the form of the Supreme Lord, right? He saw it. So it is said that direct perception is very important as part of realization. We see this actually in Dhruva Maharaj's story also. As Dhruva was meditating in his heart, he was able to see the Paramatma, and after some time, the same Paramatma was there outside also. And the Lord had manifested outside. So the thing is, direct perception is considered the topmost among all types of evidence. Like we say, na pratyaksha anumana shabda praman. So there is Shabda Praman, but ultimately anything that is heard by Shabda has to become Pratyaksha also. So Ramanuja in this context, he says all the Vedas which are there, the 4 Vedas, the 6 Upavedas, Vedangas, everything. He says that it is all Aparavidya. Aparavidya here doesn't mean material knowledge. It means, here he has a different definition of Aparavidya. He says, this is all trying to help you understand who is the Lord. But ultimately, when you have darshana samakara jnana means when one can see the Lord directly, then only that paravidya is completely manifested. Then only one is completely absorbed in him. I think that's why we also say, right, that before the living entity goes back to the spiritual world, he has to go to some planet where Krishna is come as an avatar and then participate in that Leela and only then go. Because the whole point is you need that direct experience of the Lord as well. So here Arjuna is very fortunate. He is having this darshan of universal form. We are having the darshan by hearing only currently. But by practice, each of us must also ultimately, some point of time, in some life, come to the point of darshana samakara jnana, where we can see the Lord face to face, which is considered like the culmination of it. And it's only after that that you actually attain him. So you attain the worlds after that. So that is how this commentary is. Now another thing here is akshara. So this word akshara, if you see, akshara means what? We all know akshara in Sanskrit means inexhaustible or immutable. It's called akshara. So somebody may say, why? So the Lord himself can be directly called as akshara. The Lord can be always referred to as akshara. But here, if you see in the comment, in the translation, in the verse itself, it says param akshara. Tvam aksharam paramam. Param Akshara, it is said. Ramanuja is asking, why Param Akshara bolna? Akshara bola to bas hai na. Akshara means something that is non-exhaustible. And Lord is Akshara. He says, no, the reason is even matter is Akshara, he says. Because even matter is ultimately not destroyed. It only changes form. But matter is also inexhaustible. As in, Akshara means something that is inexhaustible, which cannot be terminated. So even the Jiva, Atma is also Akshara. We are also Akshara. But when we say Param Akshara, then it is only Paramatma or Lord Krishna. Only He is Param Akshara. So that's why Paramam Akshara. Similarly, another word used here is Param Nidhanam. Please see this word, Param Nidhanam. So what is this word in Nidhanam? It's a very interesting word. Nidhanam means, in Sanskrit, Nidhanam means support. Something, Nidhiyate Asmin Nidhanam. That means something that is a support to something else is called as Nidhanam in Sanskrit. So why Paramam Nidhanam? Because he says even the Atma is Nidhanam. So like the Atma is the Nidhanam for the body. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.5, Dharyate Jagat. That means it is the Atma which is actually bearing the body. It is only because of the Atma that this body is still, standing and moving around. Correct? When the Atma leaves the body immediately collapses. So the body is finding Adhara or support in the Atma. As in, it's only because of the Atma that this body is finding a support or a shelter. So the body is the Nidhanam for the Atma is the Nidhanam for the body, but the Atma also needs a Nidhanam, and that is Supreme Lord. So that is why Krishna is called as Param Nidhanam. He's the supreme support of the entire universe. He's not just the support, because everything is a support. So there is a very beautiful Upanishadic Vakya that compares this whole thing, where it says that just like, in a chariot, the circle of the chariot basically is supported by the spokes of the wheel, and the spokes is supported by the center, the axle. It is supported by that. Similarly, so the Upanishad says that the matter is the body. Our body, which is matter, is like the external wheel, which is supported by all the jivatmas. All the matter is being held by the jivatmas. Because jivatmas only all these things are moving around and all that. But the jivatmas themselves depend on the Paramatma, who is the axle, as their nidhanam or their support. So that is why Krishna is being called as Param Nidhanam here. So the beauty is, all these prayers that Arjuna is offering here, they all have Upanishadic reference. That is why the Gita is the summary of all the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, etc. Time and again, Ramanuja quotes so many references from the Upanishads and Puranas to substantiate points being said in the Bhagavad Gita. And then finally he says, Shashwata Dharma Guptaha. That means you are the protector of eternal Dharma. Okay, so here again, we always say, Sanatana Dharma. So that concept also comes here. Shashwata Dharma Guptaha Sanatana. Tvam Purusham Matome. So he is the protector of this eternal religious principles, which he maintains through his various incarnations in this world. So in this way, Arjuna is going on glorifying Krishna, right? Yeah, there are some questions. I'll take it towards the end. Anyway, let's go ahead. So now we are looking at verse number 19. Anadimadhyantamanantaviryam anantabahum shashisurya netram pashyami tvam deeptahutasha vaktram swatejasa vishwamidam tapantam. I directly see you just as you taught, having being the divine form which is without a beginning, a middle or end, possessing extraordinary valor, having unlimited number of hands with eyes that are frightening like the sun and soothing like the moon, having the mouth of a raging fire and scorching this universe by your own radiance. Okay, so here the commentator, what he does is he says, Pashyami Tvam Anadi Madhyam Anantam. If you see, so a question is being raised here in the commentary, that Arjuna, he saw one form or multiple forms. That means the universal form, is it one person or is it multiple things? So he says, no, it is one person only. This one Supreme Lord has unlimited heads, unlimited hands, everything. Right? Sahasra Shirisha Purusa, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapada, like that. But then the question is, if he has unlimited heads, unlimited eyes, then how will you see all these unlimited as one? Because to see, when we see a person on the street, imagine you see on the street and you see like unlimited Vishnu Dutas with multiple hands, legs, everything. Then you will not say you saw one Vishnu Duta. You would say you saw multiple Vishnu Dutas. But throughout the description of universal form, Arjuna is also saying that I am seeing your form. So it is singular at times, but at the same time, it talks about plural in terms of the eyes, the heads, the hands, the legs, everything, right? Belly, everything looks Ananta. So how come, it is, so is it one or is it many? So for it, what he says is, the waist of the Lord was only one. Nowhere in the verses it says the waist was multiple. So there was one waist, and above that one waist was this unlimited bellies, hands, and so on, and below there were unlimited legs. So because the waist was one, Arjuna could see that actually this is one person only. This is one Krishna only who is here. One. Not that these are multiple people here showing the universal form. It is just one Krishna because the waist is one. So it's a very interesting point, and I was also seeing the word to word everywhere. Nowhere it said that there are unlimited waste. So that was very interesting. That the waste is exactly only one. Okay. So I'm just reading the translation. I directly see you just as you taught. Yeah, okay, I already read this. So just going ahead. Now another thing the commentary he says is here actually Prabhupada has not given much commentary. So that's why I'm just going a bit slow because Ramanuja has given quite detailed commentary to these verses. So here it also says that the eyes are like the sun and the moon. Many times we hear this in the Shastra, Shashi Surya Netra. Here also it comes, Shashi Surya Netra. So Shashi Surya Netra means what he says? Ramanuja says, is it that one eye is like the sun and one like the moon? He says, no, it's not like that. Okay. So he says, each eye simultaneously is like the Chandra and Surya. That means from each eye of the Lord, there is a cool look also and there is a hot look also. The hot look is for all the asuras. And the cool look is for devotees. So the same eyes, of course, there are so many heads, so there are so many eyes, but each eye is having the characteristic of simultaneously being Chandra also and Surya also. Okay, so we can only hear and imagine how it would be. So when Arjuna is seeing each eye, it looks as if it is Chandra and Surya at the same time. Just depends on who you are. If somebody is demonic, then for him the Surya applies more. And if somebody is a great devotee, then the Chandra applies more. But Arjuna could see that both, because Arjuna was seeing the effect of it on everyone. So he says, this is how it is. So then the question is, then it also says here that Deepta Hutasha Vaktram, his mouth is like a raging fire, and Swadeshasa Idam Vishwam Tapantam, scorching the universe by your radiance. So he says, if the Lord is burning everyone, because it says, the Lord is burning. So the question is asked, is the Lord burning everyone in the universe? So he says, no. As such, the Lord is burning everyone, but he's burning differently. Ramanuja says he's burning the demons by actually burning them. And the devotees, he's burning by the separation of love. He's increasing the separation of love. So like we see in Chaitanya Leela, right? Even the loving separation which the Lord has towards Krishna, the devotee has towards Krishna, is also compared to the fire of separation only. That also is said to be burning. So the explanation here is that the Lord is indeed burning everybody, but is burning everyone differently. Okay, the demon is actually burning to death, and the devotee is burning by his loving glance. But he's burning by love. Okay, so it's like that. So that's the description. So it's a very beautiful. So Arjuna could see this, and this is going to come ahead. We will see this point. How different people are seeing the universal form. Let's go to the verse number 20. Dvaya pritivyoridamantram hi vyaptam tvayekena disha cha sarva drishitvad rupam tavedam lokatrayam pravyatitam mahantam mahatman. Indeed, you alone pervade all the upper and lower worlds and the intermediate space in between all the worlds. In all direction, O Supreme One with inscrutable mind, on seeing your astonishing and dreadful form, all the three classes of people, your devotees, the antagonistic, and the indifferent ones, are shivering with fear. Okay, so here there is a very important commentary. So first thing he says is, in between the planetary systems there is a gap, and that gap was also occupied by the Lord. You know, Dvaya Chaprityo, in between, intermediate space, Antaram. That is one thing. Second thing, the most important part of this commentary is when Krishna gave Arjuna the vision to see universal form, Ramanuja says that Krishna gave the same vision to all the devatas, asuras, yakshas, and everyone except human beings on earth. So he says the human beings on earth did not have the facility to see the form because the other people in the battlefield also could not see universal form. Even in Prabhupada's purport, he talks about it that people from different planetary systems were seeing the form. But Ramanuja goes ahead and asks a question: why is it that they were also allowed to see? Because they never prayed for it. Only Arjuna asked universal form. Unko to free mein darshan ho gaya. So why is it that they were able to see the universal form? So he says, Arjuna had said, "Na, I want to see your greatness." And part of seeing Krishna's greatness is how all the devatas and asuras fear the Virat Rupa. That means to see the devatas and asuras fearing the Virat Rupa is also part of the greatness of the Supreme Lord. And Krishna wanted Arjuna to see the reaction of everyone to the universal form, which is part of his greatness only. And hence, the vision was given free to everybody in all the three worlds. Right? So that is why he's saying your devotees, the antagonistic and the indifferent ones. Okay, because there were asuras, there were people who were indifferent. In other planets, all of them could see. And they were also shivering now. Okay, so this is a very important commentary. And because it makes it very clear that and of course the verse also makes it very clear that people in all the three worlds were able to see the universal form, Virat, this form. Let's go ahead. अमीहित्वां सुरसङ्गा विशन्ति केचित् वितप्राञ्जलयो गृह्णन्ति स्वस्त्युक्तमहर्षि सिद्धसङ्गा स्तुवन्ति त्वं स्तुतिभिः पुष्कराभिः. Those devoted, and now the response is different if you see in this verse. Those devoted and brave hosts of superior gods rejoice on seeing you, the supporter of the whole universe, and come towards you. Some others who are nervous ones, overcome with fear, join their palms together in submission, chant your praises in verse-like form to the best of their capacity. Further groups of great sages like Bhrigu, etc., and perfected beings, the Siddhas and Sanaka, etc., who have perfect knowledge about the Tattvas, chant in full praise of you through perfect and complete hymns in praise of your essential nature, your divine form, your auspicious qualities, your divine manifestations, and cry, Hail, hail to you. Okay, so here, now what is happening, in this verse, the different people who are seeing the universal form, the universe, are all responding differently. So there are three responses given here. First response is those who are devoted to you. What is their response? They are all rejoicing on seeing you and they are coming towards you. But then he says that some people are nervous also. So Ramanuja says why they are nervous. He says just like when the policeman comes, those who are law-abiding citizens, when they see the government official, they are not at all afraid. They are in fact happy to see him. But the thief who is there, he is a little scared. He becomes nervous. Okay, so he's saying that there were many people in the three universes, the three worlds, who were seeing universal form, who everybody was not a perfect person, right? But they were seeing and they knew now, oh my God, I have done so many things in my life, nonsense. Now this Lord is there and he is going to destroy all the sinful people. So they were overcome by fear. So if you see, everybody was not overcome by fear. Those who were devoted, they were jolly, they were rejoicing. But those people were nervous. Who were nervous? Those who had done some mistakes in life. They were nervous and they were afraid. And because they were afraid, they started praying. But this word Grinanti, again, see, Sanskrit is so beautiful. In Sanskrit, this word Grinanti means to say prayers in a prose form. In a when you say prayers, generally when you're very jolly, when you're very pleased, you will want to sing prayers of the Lord. Right? Like devotee will always sing the prayers of the Lord because he's very, very happy. But these people, because they were nervous, they were unable to sing. Because to sing, you must be very carefree. So Grinanti, they were only chanting the verses, in the prose form they were chanting. That's the meaning of the word Grinanti. But there were other people also. There were other people, Stutibi Pushkaladibihi. There were other third category of people who were great devotees. They were feeling that, oh my God, there should not be any harm that should come to this form. And they were swasti iti uktva. You see this word swasti? In Sanskrit, swasti vachana means, swasti vachana you do to someone when you want to protect them. So there were some devotees, they were feeling affection also to the universal form. They were thinking, oh, this Lord is so beautiful. He should be protected. They should, some asura should not come and do something to him. Out of love, vatsalya, they were feeling like that. And they were doing swasti vachana, stutipi pushkalabihi. So they were basically singing the glories and they were praying that, oh, this Lord should be protected. So can you imagine, there are different responses to the universal form by different people in the universe, depending on who they are. Right? So that all this Arjuna could see. And that is part of the greatness of Krishna. Hence, Krishna gave free darshan to everybody. Going ahead, Rudraditya Vasavo Yecha Sadhya Vishveshvino Marutaschoshmapascha Gandharva Yaksha Surasiddha Sangha Vikshante Tvam Vismita Chaiva Sarve. The 11 Rudras, the 12 Adityas, the 8 Vasus, the 12 Sadhyas, the 10 Celestials known as Vishvedevas, the 2 Ashwini Devatas, the 49 Maruts, and Ushma is the ancestors who receive the offerings. The host of Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, Siddhas are all gazing at you, amazed. So the main word is Vismitaha. They were all amazed. Why they were amazed? By the beauty of the Lord. All the Devatas were amazed. Okay, so there is a very beautiful verse in Ramayana which confirms this. It is said that when Lord Ram, when he came to the forest and he met all the sages were stunned by seeing the beauty of Ram. So there is a beautiful verse in the Ramayana. Valmiki writes, Rupa Samhananam Lakshmim Saukumaryam Subeshatam Dadrsho Vismitakara Ramasya Vanavasino. All the Vanavasis, when they saw Rama, they were Vismita. Vismita means stunned, pretty much like this. All these people were stunned. The rishis also, the Vanavasi, the rishis in the forest were stunned at seeing Rama. Why? Suveshitam. He was dressed very nicely. So for that verse, the commentary is that, what was Ram wearing? He was only wearing a deer skin. And the rishis were wearing deer skin for their whole life. And Ram is wearing deer skin only recently. But it seems when Lord Rama was wearing the deer skin, he was looking so beautiful, even though he started wearing it only recently. All the rishis thought, my God, this personality is so beautiful. He's so handsome, so nicely dressed. And they were all Vismita, stunned. Something like that is again happening here. When all these devatas, when they see the Lord, they are all amazed and stunned. Going ahead. Rupam Mahate Bahuvaktra Netram Mahabaho Bahu Bahu Rupadam Bahudaram Bahudam Strakaralam Drishtva Loka Pravatistastataham. O mighty arm Lord, seeing your form, which is incredibly immense, endowed with numerous faces and eyes, numerous arms, thighs, and feet, and numerous stomachs. Okay, looking very fierce with many teeth. Not only these three kinds of beings, even I as well, who desired to see your cosmic form, am shivering with fear. So now Arjuna is saying that not only all these other people whom I just spoke about, even I am feeling fear by seeing this. Even I am not feeling so comfortable seeing this. Now, why is he not feeling? Okay, he's going to tell that in the next verse. So that comes in the next verse. We're going a bit quickly. Nabasprisham deepta maneka varnam vyata deepta vishala netram drishtva hitvam pravyatitantaratma dhritim navindami shamam ja Vishnu. O all pervading Supreme Lord, merely by seeing your form, which is resplendent, reaching the supreme abode, Vaikuntha, multi-hued, endowed with open mouth and having large blazing eyes, I shiver in mind. I am unable to hold my body steady and I do not find peace. So he's elaborating why he's why he is feeling fear. This will again come in the next verse. We will go slowly here. So in this verse, the thing that Ramanuja focuses, Nabaspurusham. The Lord's form is almost touching Nabaha. Generally, Nabaha means sky. But he here translates Nabha as Vaikuntha, the spiritual world. Why? He says because touching the sky was not a very big thing. Arjuna himself could touch the sky. He was very competent for that. He has gone to the heavens and everything. So he says when Arjuna is feeling surprised, saying that you are touching the Nabaha, this Nabaha is not just the sky, but it is literally touching the boundary of the material and spiritual worlds. I mean, starting of Vaikuntha. Okay, so Arjuna could see till that point. That means Arjuna could see all the material existence, right? So he could see till the boundary of the material and spiritual worlds. So he says that is why Nabha here means literally reaching the supreme abode Vaikuntha. So like that he says. So that is the significant thing here. Yeah. Now the next verse again elaborates why the fear. What is the part that is fearing? दंष्ट्राकरालानि च ते मुखानि दृष्ट्वैव कालान सन्निभानि दिशो न जाने न लभे च शर्मा प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास. Just by seeing your faces, which are terrifying on account of the teeth, resembling the fire at the time of cosmic dissolution, hey God of all gods, I am utterly bewildered and cannot even discern the directions, and cannot bring peace to the mind and the sense organs. Hey, abode of the whole universe, please be gracious. So here it becomes very clear what is our Arjuna afraid of. He is afraid of the face. The face is terrifying because of the teeth. Okay, and now it will come in the next verse. Why again the face? Because we will see that, right? So that is the only thing to be mentioned here. There is not much commentary here. So now why the face? It's going to be said. Ami chatvam dhritarashtrasya putra sarve सहैवावनि पालसंगै भीष्मो द्रोणसूतपुत्रस्तथासु sahasmadiyarapi yoda mukhya. Now this is the reason why the face is looking fearful. All these sons of Dhritarashtra and others like Bhishma, Drona and Karna, together with a host of kings on their side, as well as the prominent heroic warriors on our side. Okay, so all these things, it's not only on their side, on our side also. All these, what is happening to all of them? The verse gets completed in the next line. Vaktrani te tva ramana vishanti damshtra karalani bhayanakani kechid vilagna dashahanate dashanantareshu sandrishyate churnati re ruttamangai. They are all entering headlong into your mouth. See, this is what Arjuna was fearing, which are looking extremely frightening and disfigured due to curved teeth. The Lord's mouth is looking frightening and disfigured, and some of them are stuck between the gaps in the teeth, and their heads are getting crushed into powder by the teeth. So this is what Arjuna was afraid to see. Okay, otherwise Arjuna was not afraid of anything, but this part. So there was one part of the universal form, which is the time aspect, where he could see the future also. And in that future, he could see the Lord mouth in which all these people are entering and they are all getting crushed. Okay. And moreover, churnitai, this word is considered very important. Churnitai means just like we say churna, churna means chewing. Just like the Ayurvedic doctor, sometimes he says that you should chew the food very well to digest it. So he says here, Krishna was actually chewing all of them into powder. Okay, chewing them into powder. They were all just becoming powdered in the mouth. And looking at this, Arjuna is giving two examples to illustrate this point. That is the next two verses. Okay, the two examples he gives. Yata nadinam bahavo mume vega samudrameva bhimuka dravanti tata tavami naraloka veera vishanti vaktrani abhi vijwalanti. Just as the swiftly flowing water currents of the rivers rush straight into the ocean, similarly, these warriors of kings are rushing to enter into your mouth, which is like fire. Okay, so this is one example he gives. So the first example, what is he saying? Okay, I said there, yeah. So there are two examples. So the first example here is like the water going into the ocean. Why water going into the ocean? Because just as the water by itself of the river goes to the ocean is not doing anything to bring the water. Similarly, these evil kings, the sons of Dhritarashtra and all of them, by their own effort, they are going into the mouth of the Lord. Okay, the Paramatma is not doing anything. Just like the ocean doesn't pull the water of the river into it, literally, if you see, correct? It is the river only which has decided to go into the ocean. Okay, and the ocean says, okay, all of you can come in and I will accept everybody. So similarly, he says the universal form is such that all these people on their own desire are walking into it. So that is what this example is illustrating. Okay, but then this example is not complete because the mouth is jwalanti, right? It is like blazing fire. That's why there is another example needed, and that is in the next verse. Yata pradiptam jwalanam patanga vishanti nashaya samriddhi vega tateva nashaya vishanti lokasthavapi vaktrani samriddhi vega. Just as moths with great speed for their own destruction enter into fire, which effortlessly kill such moths, in the same manner, these collections of kings, for their own destruction, which they have brought by their own deeds, are entering with great speed into your fiery mouths and getting killed effortlessly by the power of your teeth. So here, this is another example, right? In this example, because see, if you see in one way, in the previous example, see, generally why another example is given, because one example doesn't complete everything. In the previous example, when the river enters the water of the river is still existing, right, in the water of the ocean. As in, the water of the river is not destroyed. It has entered into the ocean, and in the ocean, the water of the river is also present in the ocean. But in this example, what we understand is the moths, when they enter the fire, they are completely burnt. They don't exist in the fire. Okay, so that's why this example becomes significant. So here the moths, they are entering the fire, but they are being completely destroyed. Nashaya, they don't exist anymore. So similarly, all these people, they are all being finished by entering your mouth. They are not existing anymore. Okay. Then now again another question will come to our mind. Are if everybody is falling in the Lord's mouth, is the Lord doing anything for it? Is he, because if you see both these examples, the ocean is such that the rivers are going into it. The fire is such that the moth is rushing into it. But neither the fire nor the ocean is doing anything to attract the river or the moth. So the Lord, is he also like that? Or is he actively taking part in the destruction in some way? So that becomes very clear in the next verse. Lelihyase gra samana samantal lokan samagran badane jwaladbihi tejo virapurya jagat samagram bhashastavogra pratapanti Vishnu. O all pervading supreme entity, devouring all the worlds on all the sides with your blazing mouth, you lick up the blood that drips from your lips. Your terrifying rays fill the entire world with their brilliance and scorch it. So here the word that is important is lehi, lelihyase. Lelihyase means Arjuna could see that the Lord's tongues are out and they are licking the blood. Okay, so he's not only crushing these people into powder, but the blood that is coming. So an example is given which South Indians can understand. Just like sometimes when you're drinking rasam or some liquid, sometimes some rasam may be smeared on our mouth or on our lips. So, someone who is honoring rasam during prasad, he will just flick his tongue out and lick it up, right? So similarly, he says that Lehi Yase, the Lord is licking all the blood that is falling off from his lips. Because he's very angry with the Kauravas for offending. So Ramanuja says that is why when Duryodhana told Krishna, come to my home for lunch, Lord said, Arey, I will not come to your house no matter what. You are my enemy because you see Pandavas as your enemy. So you are my enemy as well. I'm not going to come to your house. Now then somebody may ask, the why effulgence is being said here, because in this world effulgence is there, brilliant, scorching, pratapanti. So Ramanujacharya says that effulgence is mentioned because the Lord is swallowing their bodies, right? You need heat to make their bodies soft so that you can eat them easily. So that is why he says that there is blazing, scorching heat in this universal form, which Arjuna could say, because the heat was necessary to basically soften the bodies of all these people so that the Lord can easily eat them. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult to eat anything which is not hot. Right? We all need hot prasadam. So the Lord here is doing that. And he gives an example, just like when the Lord entered Baka's mouth during Bakasura. The Lord bifurcated Bakasur, right? So that time it is said he created a heat. We all know in Krishna Lila that when Krishna enters the mouth of Bakasur, he creates a heat. Now, why heat? So that the to make the beak and the surrounding area soft, then only Krishna can bifurcate it easily. Because it is very hard, then very difficult to bifurcate. So by generating heat, basically, if all the areas became very soft, and when it became very soft, it becomes easy to bifurcate. Okay, so similarly, so he says, so one may say Arjuna wanted to see the Vishwarupam. Why did so? At this, so this part was very fearful to Arjuna. See, if you carefully see, in the beginning, Arjuna was seeing, okay, all the devatas, everything. But when he saw this, that the Lord's mouth is basically attracting all the Kauravas inside, then Arjuna became afraid. He thought, my God, what is this? This looks terrifying. Okay, so now here he's asking in the next verse, who are you? This is the 31st verse. Okay, Akhyani me ko Bhavanugra Rupo Namostu te Deva Vara Prasida Vijñātumichhāmi bhavantamadhyam nahi prajanami tava pravritthim. O Keshava, the foremost of gods, who are you? Of course, he knows it is Keshava, but still he's asking, who are you in this most dreadful form? So here, this who are you, he's asking about that aspect of the universal form which is chewing everybody. Please try to understand. So when you say who are you, because he's asking now, who are you here? This who are you is not in the sense of who are you as a whole. That he knows it is the Supreme Lord only showing Vishwarupa. But he's asking that aspect of the universal form where he's crushing all these people. Because that was very fearful to Arjuna. Who are you in this most dreadful form? Please tell me my obeisances to you. Please be merciful to me. I wish to understand you, the primordial being. I'm not able to understand the reason for your actions. Okay, so generally we ask this question, who are you, when we are unable to comprehend what is happening. Okay, so this part of the universal form, he was just not comfortable. He couldn't handle it, where he is crushing everybody and all that. He couldn't handle it. Now the Lord starts speaking who he is. And when he says this word, na kalosmi loka, he is referring to that part of this universal form where the time was shown, where everything was being crushed. Because that was the part, right? That was fearful to Arjuna, which is why he's asking the question, who are you? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kalosmi Loka Kshayakrit Pravriddho Lokan Samahartumiha Pravrittah Kritepi Tvam Na Bhavishyanti Sarve Ye Vastita Pratyanikeshu Yodha. Krishna replies, I who computes the end of life of everyone, Kalosmi. Kalosmi means what? I am Kala. That means the time factor. Being the destroyer of people's life, have grown into this mighty, horrific form and have appeared in person to annihilate the life of the host of the kings, Duryodhana and others. In this war, my presence before them is itself adequate for their destruction. I don't need anything else. All these warriors who are arrayed in the enemy ranks, even if you do not attempt to kill them, they shall not live, as their extermination is already decided by my will. So Krishna basically is clarifying that this is the time aspect of the universal form. So basically Krishna is saying that, hey Arjuna, even if you go away, I am going to kill all this. So now the purpose of showing this will become clear. Why is Krishna showing this? What is the prayojan? To tell Arjuna that you must fight. Why you must fight? Because anyway I am going to kill them. Okay, it's not that I'm going to spare any of these. So please try to understand, this whole thing gets connected now. See, we are again going back to karma, the starting of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is saying you have to do your job, right? So this is why, karma yoga, no matter where you come in the Gita, it will still catch you. It's such a beautiful concept. It's not going to allow you to go away. It will not that, okay, now we have advanced to bhakti yoga, now nothing we have to do with this. No. Krishna is saying that, see, I have decided, Samahartum, I'm personally going to ensure all these people die. Okay, even without you, I'm going to do that. And by my sankalpa only I can do. See, that's the point here. Krishna only needs sankalpa. So Ramanujacharya quotes from Vishnu Puran, beautiful verse. Manaseva jagat srishtam samharam chakaroti tasya ari pari pakshapane kiyam udhyama vistaraha. It's a verse from Vishnu Puran which says that the Lord creates the world and destroys the world by sankalpa alone. He doesn't need to do anything else. He only has to take sankalpa. Sankalpa means, we say, sankalpa means the determination. Okay, I'm going to do this. So similarly here, he has already done the sankalpa in time that in the next 18 days, all these fellows are going to be finished. That's it. His sankalpa is enough. Okay, which means that they will not exist in Bhavishya, which is now very, very clear. So why did he show this destruction to Arjuna? That prayojan, right? So this is the point. तस्मात् त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धिं मय्येवैते निहिता पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्. Beautiful verse. Therefore, as I have willed the destruction of the enemies, you rise, conquer the enemies, attain fame, and enjoy the prosperous kingdom. I have already willed that Duryodhana and others who have committed so many crimes to be the target for annihilation in this war. Hey Arjuna, who can shoot arrows with your left hand, you simply become an instrument in my hand. So Sabyasachi, this word Sabyasachi means he could shoot left also. And so Arjuna was not only right-handed but also left-handed. That is the meaning of Sabyasachi. He could shoot with both hands. So he was such a good instrument. Okay, so why Krishna is using the word Sabyasachi here is to tell Arjuna that, hey Arjuna, you have such an amazing skill. You can shoot with both hands. So such a instrument I need. Okay, but even if it is not there, I have already decided to kill. But you better become my instrument so that you can take the glory. You can attain fame. Everybody will say that you did it. But as far as I am concerned, I am anyway going to do. Uttishta. Why Uttishta? Ramanuja says that because Arjuna had sat on the chariot in the second chapter saying that I will not fight. So Krishna is saying, come on, get up. Enough is enough. Stand up. Be determined. Okay. Can Arjuna take the full credit? No, I have. So Krishna wants to say that as such I have decided to do, but if you do, you will get the credit. That's it. You can enjoy the kingdom. Everybody will say you won and you did everything. Okay. So this is basically applicable to all of us. So Ramanujacharya says here that when we read this verse, we should also understand that I will end with this now. That whatever we are doing in our life also, okay, we have to understand that let us allow the Lord to use us as an instrument. So he says this is the lesson of this particular verse in our own lives. We can all think that let my body, let my existence be like an instrument in the hands of the Lord. Let him allow me to do his service. So if you remember, I was making this point, right? When we sit for deity worship, we basically sit thinking like we are representing our guru there, and we basically spiritualize our senses. The whole idea is that the Lord can be worshipped only by spiritual senses. So we are actually, in a sense, we are invoking, that Shakti in us, because the idea is that normally based on what we are, flesh and blood, we can't serve Krishna like that. We simply have to become his own instrument in his own service. We are doing nothing. Okay, so the Lord only is ensuring that his seva is going on, but he is allowing us to be used as instrument. So this is the mood of a devotee, he says, that we should all cultivate in our life, where we have no pride in anything. Just that we have to be the good instrument. So whatever instrument we are, like here, Arjuna is Sabyasachi, he can shoot with both hands. He's a very good instrument. Okay. And so that is being emphasized here. Okay, and maybe this is the last verse, because I think the next one Arjuna starts speaking. Yeah, so I'll just stop at 34, because this is the last verse where Krishna speaks. Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadrattam cha Karnam tatanyamapi yodaviran maya hatamstam jahima vyatistha yudhyasvajeta sirane sapatnan You slay Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and all other prominent warriors who have already decided to annihilate by my will in the war because of their unrighteousness. Do not feel distressed by the wrong notion that the war is not dharmic. Look at the translation. Fight! You shall conquer the enemies in battle. So this is an answer to whatever Arjuna had raised in the second chapter. How can I kill Bhishma Drona? Krishna is saying, Are they are unrighteous. They are all on the side of adharma. That's it. I have already decided to kill them. There's no question only. Don't show love to such evil fellows. Affection is a good quality to pious people only. So Krishna, Ramanuja says, Krishna is telling Arjuna, just like a knife is an instrument. The instrument doesn't think too much about cutting. You also don't doubt too much. Just become my instrument. I will ensure that as an instrument you will be used perfectly in this war. In this way, Krishna encourages Arjuna to get back into his duty of fighting as a Kshatriya and not feeling this so called compassion towards all these people who all deserve to be killed. At this point, Krishna stops speaking, and then Sanjay and Arjuna speak, which we will see next time. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Is there any question? Then I will just consider that. Yeah, there's one question in the chat. In the basics of Bhagavad Gita, among the three pramanas, Shabda Praman is best authorized and reliable, free from defects, and capable of revealing absolute truth. Correct. Certainly, Shabda Praman has its importance to understand the absolute truth. But you know, when Sanatan Goswami writes, I think the Brihad Bhagavatamrita or some of his other literature, he says the topmost pramana is pratyaksha. In the sense, please try to understand here, pratyaksha pramana is not referring to our material senses through which we understand things. That means, see, Shabda Pramana is important for you to understand the absolute truth, and then you have to practice bhakti. You have to practice the yoga system, and then when you are uplifted, ultimately you have that darshan of the Lord, right? If you see all the devotees in the Bhagavatam everywhere, they ultimately have darshan of the Lord. Like Dhruva Maharaj had the darshan of Krishna. Everyone has darshan of the Lord, right? Narada Muni, as a boy, he was practicing the tapasya in forest. He had darshan of the Lord. Okay, that darshan is considered very important. That darshan is pratyaksha. Now, when we say that is pratyaksha, please don't think that that is pratyaksha for these material eyes. That is pratyaksha for the Atma. That means the Atma has actually now experienced Krishna. Okay, so that is the pratyaksha we are talking about. This pratyaksha that I am talking here is not the pratyaksha of the mundane senses. It is the pratyaksha of the Atma. That the Atma has personally experienced the Paramatma, the Supreme Lord. Then his thing actually arises. That's why we always say, I made the point in the talk as well, that whenever one has to get liberated, we say that you have to go to before you go to the spiritual world, you go to some place where Krishna is personally present. And then only you get completely cleansed and everything. And then one goes back because you need that pratyaksha. You need that direct experience of the Supreme Lord. I hope that answers the question. Whoever asked that. Yeah. Yeah, Vaibhavanand Prabhu, please go ahead. Are you able to unmute or no? No, I'm unable to hear you. I think there is some problem in my laptop. If you can type, maybe it will be good. I think there is some major issue here. No, I'm unable to hear at all. So 1 second, let me just see if I can join through some other. Just 1 second. Recording in progress. Vaibhavanand Prabhu, I can hear. Yes, Prabhu. Okay. Yeah. See, this 33 crore thing, na, this 33 group of devatas, the concept that I said, this is not something made up or something. Neither this is modern commentary. Ramanuja and everyone writes about it. See, this is well understood that 33, this number comes from 12 Adityas, 11 Rudras, 8 Vasus, and 2 Ashwini Kumaras. This is accepted by everybody. 12 plus 11 plus 8 plus 2 is 33. This is the 33 that we are always talking about. Now, the only debate is whether each of these 33 have a group of devatas. Then that is also accepted. Each of them have a group, and they are also devas only. Their associates and everything. But whether that group, that koti there refers to group or crore, literally the word crore, as in 100 lakhs. That is the only thing which is, kind of differently spoken. But there is no question only that there are 33 primary devatas and each of them have a group. Now, whether that group is a smaller number or whether it is a crore, okay, that can be spoken about. But it is very clear that this 33 comes from that only. Hope this point is clear. No, no, that's where. Yeah, no, that's where I was saying that that crore is that koti. See, that koti, by some people, they say it can be translated as group also. So if it is group, then it is not literally crore. At least that's how the Sri Vaishnavas translated. They speak about it as group, not necessarily as crore, in the sense of what we are knowing as 100 lakhs. Okay, maybe. I mean, so I already said that there are multiple opinions in this regard. I just told what is the opinion of these commentators here. That's all. He's the son, na? He's junior to him in the Leela. He's the son of Brahma. So, because if you see the birth of Shiva, Shiva is born between the eyebrows of Lord Brahma, and whatever he says, he does. He says, "This is your place of residence. These are your names. This is your wife." Everything he does as per that. Yeah, yeah. See, so now what happens is, uh, in the Leela, Shiva is the son of Brahma. But in terms of Tattva, Shiva is superior because he's Shambhu Tattva who is superior to Brahmaji. But in Leela, he is coming as son only, right? Like Krishna comes as the son of Devaki Vasudeva, like that. Anyone else with any other question, or we stop? Yeah, good and bad instrument. Yeah. Okay, so we become a good or bad instrument primarily by aligning to uh, the instructions of the Guru and the Vedas. Guru Sadhu Shastra. That only will decide whether we are good instrument or bad instrument. If we are not ready to align with that, then it becomes bad. Yeah. Okay, I think we can end. There's no other question. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.